Hello students, welcome to the course Herbal Product Technology and Regulatory Science. Today we are going to start with the Unit 9 Part 1. We are going to make ourselves knowledgeable in the regulations and patenting aspects of a traditional knowledge. Myself, your tutor Dr. Mandar Murik. I am from Principal K. M. Kundan College of Pharmacy, Mumbai. Let's start with the content. The entire unit will be described in these 5 points: the need for herbal product regulations, type of legal provisions, regulations of Drug and Cosmetics Act, Schedule Y for ASU, that is Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani medicines, IPR related issues with the herbal products. We will go one by one with each topic and we will see what are the regulations and what are the requirements in this. Need for herbal product regulations. Why it is needed? It's the biggest question in minds of most of the pharmaceutical industry people. When they have understood that the herbal is the one of the important market for the world. So standardization and quality control is the main parameter on which herbals are need to be evaluated so that people will get the good quality products. And without regulations, you will not have a good quality products. That's why the herbal products need a regulations. Regulations ensure the consumer safety, prevent adulteration and also maintain the efficacy. Efficacy means its effectiveness. So to maintain the efficacy, to get the best quality products, so get the safety of the consumers, we need regulations which can give you a good quality product. Global market acceptance. After COVID, people have seen that there is a good market for the herbal products, but the regulations are lacking. Because of that, the market is converse. To get a good market share, herbal products require a very backbone created for the regulations. False therapeutic claims and pharmacovigilance. It is a newer era where the pharmacovigilance is mandatory for most of the pharmaceutical products. Now, pharmacovigilance give you an idea about what the product is doing after selling into the market, and if any product is claiming a false claim. So that also comes under the umbrella of regulations. Standardization and quality control. Because of the rising popularity of the herbal products, the standardization and quality control become a mandatory issue for most of the herbal industries. When the products are getting sold out in other countries, the regulations authority or regulatory authorities are asking for the lot of questions regarding such products, so that we should have a thorough regulatory bodies or their guidelines available which can give us a good amount of confidence in customer. Market growth. The market growth is directly proportional to the regulatory requirements. When there is a more number of regulations are applicable onto the product, definitely the market growth is much higher compared to any other non-regulatory products. Ensure quality. The quality insurance is mandatory whenever it is dealing to the pharmaceutical products. Herbal products are mostly useful into the pharmaceutical companies, and that's why to ensure quality of every product we need a very good regulations. Scientific validation. Whenever you want to prove anything, you need a scientific data and its validated outcome for your regulations, and that's why the regulations are very mandatory for the herbal products. Safety due to proper regulation. It has been seen in past that whenever there is our regulations cleared for the any product, it always pass on to the safety guidelines. Variation in potency. The concentration of an active ingredient can differ between the batches, and that is why you need a regulations for how to calculate a potency of each product. For example, a amla which is procured from the south region and amla which is procured from the north region will have different components in it. Because of that, you cannot identify or you cannot compare both the amlas without any standards, and for that purpose you need a proper regulation. Purity concern. Products may contain contaminants such as a pesticide, heavy metals or adulterant, and all these need to have some bar levels. Beyond that, this should not be entered in your product. This can be only controlled through the regulations. Unverified claims. Efficacy and safety are often not tested in controlled clinical trials. Clinical trials may be not mandatory for most of the herbal product, but still something which is not controlled claim cannot be used to put your product into the market, and that is why the regulations helps to decide which claims can be used for the product promotions. Risk to consumers. Inconsistent quality may lead to reduced effectiveness or unexpected side effect. This is a very common phenomena in case of herbal products. Most of the time herbal products will have unknown side effects which may or may not be because of the particular drug, but it may be because of the interaction with the other things like food and other drugs taken along. So that consumers should get to know about the risk of attached to that particular product. Promote fair practices. It has been seen that many companies or many industries, they put on the products with a spurious material by stating or claiming as a herbal product. If it not controlled, then it can relieve the most of the time a product from the market. To avoid that, we need a strong regulations. Global market acceptance. We have seen after COVID there are a lot of requirement for the herbal products. The newer technology herbal products also into the market, something like liposomes and nanoparticles. But because of the lacking of regulations, these products are not having acceptance in the regulated markets, something like America, Japan and Australia. So that people should understand that if they need a good exposure for the product, they need a very strong regulations. Enhances credibility and trust among the global customer. It has been seen that when there is a global customers demands a product quality, its trust also build up through the regulations, and that is why regulation always help to create this trust between the customer and the product. Reduces trade barrier and regulatory challenges. If you have a very established regulations, then there will be no barriers between the regulatory authorities and the industry people, and all that can help you to gain a more profit in your market. Improves competitiveness in global marketplace. When people compare product of the two competitors, they always look for the regulations which through they passed, and based on that they select their product. When you have such a good regulation backbone, that can always help to get your product selected in the market against your competitor. Increased chances of partnership and collaboration with the foreign business. When the regulatory authorities they bring the clauses and claims regarding any product, they always need to have at par whenever they get to such product in their market. For example, if you want to sell any product into the USA, the US FDA regulations you have to follow. If you do have your own regulation with a proper justification, then this process will get easier. Consumer confidence. We have already discussed how the consumer will select the product based on the regulations and other aspects of regulations, and it gives you the good force in the market, and that is why the confidence gaining is easy with the consumer. False therapeutic claims and pharmacovigilance. Now, false therapeutic claims not a good practice, but many of the industry people, to gain a big amount of profit from the herbal product, they claim unnoticed claims along with the product. Prevent misleading therapeutic claims by regulating advertisement and product information. We must have seen many advertisements claiming about the fairness after application of the herbal cream, whereas they are most of the time only useful to make a whitening of your skin. But such kind of claims can bombard back to the market value of the product if they become a false. That is why we need a very good regulations to avoid such kind of cases. Ensure safety monitoring of medicines through pharmacovigilance system. Pharmacovigilance is also known as a phase 4 clinical trials, where the product went into the market, their responses from the customer are received, and their side effects and adverse effects are categorized. Now, up to the few years back, there was no such foolproof pharmacovigilance team or a system working for the herbal products. But nowadays, most of a patient, they are on a treatment of a herbal product along with their other drugs, allopathic drugs or homeopathic drugs, which may have interaction with your herbal products. Most of our food material also can give you an interaction that can lead to a side effect or a severe adverse effect. Pharmacovigilance always help to gain the information about such severe adverse effect, and that can allow you to mitigate any further dangerous or severe interaction in the future. And that is why regulation always help to give you this kind of a advancement. Protect consumer health by identifying and addressing adverse drug reaction. The consumer health is at the topmost priority for most of the health professionals and the herbal industry people. If the product is not safe, then such product cannot withstand into the market. So that regulations should have a very strong action against such product, which can give you a protection of a consumer health from many such products. Promote transparency in therapeutic effectiveness and safety data. Transparency in the manufacturing, transparency into the marketing of such product is essential, and that is why people only prefer such product which are having a good regulation background, which give you such kind of a transparency. The regulations also include how your working place supposed to be, which can give you an idea about you can maintain the good quality of the product. Similarly, the market channels through which the product is sold to the customer, how it is handled in those market channel, that also comes under the umbrella of regulations. Builds public trust in healthcare products and regulatory authorities. When such products are made under the regulation inside the industry, then all such products build a good public relation and trust by showing a good quality. It has been seen that industries which follows all the regulations, guidelines, their market scenario is much better than non-regulatory industries. Now we are moving towards some definition of this herbal drugs. Before that, we should also know about the these three streams of in traditional medicine: Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani. In this unit, we are going to focus more about the medicines and the regulations of ASU, that is the Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani drugs. Now, you can largely categorize ASU medicine in this four category. Wholesome natural substances. There are few drugs which you use as a medicine in their crude form, and such drugs are called as a wholesome natural substances. They are made from wholesome natural substances of a plant, animal, mineral or marine origin. For an example, isabgol husk, which is used for the constipation purpose, is a seed coat of a isabgol seed, which is taken as it is. So, it comes under the category of wholesome natural substances. Formulation may be of a single ingredient or multiple ingredient or combination of a different formulation. For this, the example is a churna which is punched in the form of a tablet or it is filled in the capsule. Capsule is entirely different types of formulation, same as a tablet, but for the convenience, a Ayurvedic churna can also be given in the form of a tablet or filled in the capsule, which is accepted inside the market. Formulation could be herbal or herbo-mineral or any kind of a mixture of a two or more natural substances. The herbo-mineral is a different type of formulations. They are different from the Ayurvedic and Siddha and Unani medicines what they have appeared on the shelf. Example of herbo-mineral drug is a Shilajit. A Shilajit is widely used as a immunomodulatory agent in entire world, and that is why it has a good amount of a marketplace, but because of its purity is questionable, most of the time it is not get good market exposure outside the country. Such regulations can always help you to give you a good marketplace for such products. Wholesome extracts of medicinal plants. Aqueous extract or hydroalcoholic extract or any other extract can be ingredient of a ASU formulation. Extracts are the solvent preparation which are used to create the formulation. Sometimes this extract itself can be act as a formulation. For an example, your kadas which are made from the plant sources are one type of a extract. A simple example of a extraction is a tea which is you prepare every day. So, that way some of the formulations from ASU medicine are of simply extracts which are given to the patients. There are few more categories of the ASU medicines. You can also categorize them as a classical or a generic formulary. Now, what is the meaning of a classical and generic formulae? For example, if you want to prepare any formulation from Ayurveda, there is authoritative books of Ayurveda which gives you a complete formula for particular formulation. If you prepare as per that particular formula, then that formulation will be called as a classical or generic formulation. So, that it gives you the desired effect as mentioned into the authoritative book. Proprietary medicine. To explain that, I will give you an example of a churna, a Triphala churna which is made up of three different fruits: amla, harda and behra. These are the three fruit powders in a proper combination are given along with a small amount of salt to make it palatable. Now, this churna are very much helpful to alter your GI tract problems. Whenever these churnas are given, they are given as a powder form. and they generally used to dissolve or used to suspend into the water and take along with the water of a major quantity. In current days, it is difficult to have such churnas in the powder form even though are most active, so that to get them a good consumer acceptance, people have developed a same product in the tablet form, where to avoid its efficacy issues, they have included a berberine or a piperine compound which have a good bioavailability, so that when you take in a tablet form, it will give you a same kind of bioavailability as it given in the powder form. So, such products are called as a proprietary products. The formula is same as it is mentioned into the Ayurveda, but because of addition of a new component, it will be considered as a proprietary product of that particular industry who have developed that. Such products are come under the category of a proprietary medicine. They always label as a proprietary traditional medicine from whichever traditional medicine they have taken up. What is the requirement of a proprietary medicine? The textural, rational, experimental and R&D based medicinal formulations. They should have a textural references from the authority book, and whatever the modifications are made, for those modification we need a R&D based experimentation proof. Nutritive medicinal formulation. There are some nutritional formulation which are based on Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani medicine, also included in the proprietary type of medicine. Bars or protein bars, which includes some of the medicinal value from the Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani medicine, are come under this category. Cosmeceutical medicinal formulations. There are many products into the market which are belong to the cosmeceutical medicinal category, where they are developed from the Ayurvedic formula. Such products come under the category of proprietary medicine of Ayurveda. And extract based formulation. Extract based formulations are typically extracts are made and then dried, and those drugs extracts are then compiled in the form of a tablet or capsule. But the extracts which are made again have textural references into the authoritative books. And finally, phytopharmaceuticals. Phytopharmaceuticals are not from the ASU medicine, they are considered to be a newer technology medicine. Phytopharmaceuticals are made up of components which are including minimum 4 different types of phytoconstituents, and all those phytoconstituents or their relative extracts are supposed to be have bioactive. A bioactivity which may or may not be the desirable bioactivity, but should have a proven bioactivity, and those cannot be used for the parenteral purpose. Parenteral means you cannot be used as a through injectable or through the optical route. So, this type of phytopharmaceuticals are also part of a herbal drug formulations, and all this will require a good amount of regulations. These are the few references for the today's session. So, before concluding this today's lecture, I would like to put on a focus that hereafter we will learn about the legal provisions which can taken up in the regulations, and further we will also take a Drug and Cosmetics Act and its Schedule Y, which is mainly responsible for the clinical requirement of the ASU medicine. By that time, study and have a good session ahead. Thank you.